just absolute insanity that we can go into our grocery stores and well over 95% of the fruits and vegetables we can buy there are all grown from far away, but we can grow them right here, but we don't. And I just was saying how after 10 years I've been going to farmers markets, and it was like I was digging a hole for myself. I was farming every year and doing it mostly because I liked it, but I wasn't really making any money, just like all these other farmers are out there doing it, that you don't really make any money, and there's a lot of reasons why we're not making money. One of them is we can't sell our stuff locally. We don't make enough money. People have to make a living wage. And so I wasn't really making enough money, and basically I lost, I was going through the process of losing my land because the taxes weren't paid, and I owed the bank a bunch of money. And then the coronavirus thing happened. I was actually homeless, living in a car. And the coronavirus happened, and the papers were signed to, I was losing the land I had for 40 years. And I looked around, I go, wait a minute, all this, this is going to make the price of food go up. Maybe you can make money farming, and who cares? The banks are all going to go under now anyway.
Oh, for sure.
So I just go, the hell with this, I'm going to just keep planting. And I looked at my seed, and most of the seed I had left over from last year was romaine lettuce. And so I started planting a lot of romaine lettuce seeds. It's a real difficult for me to understand why you go in a grocery store and none of our local food is there.
And it hasn't been in the land for a while either.
Right,
it's been in a truck or a...
And it's just a real tragedy, and that 80% of the romaine lettuce comes from far away. And I guess what happened was that when you go to the farmers markets, you're trying to sell multiple stuff, but the people are telling you what they want. They start buying what they like. And I was taking the romaine lettuce, and I was getting $4 to $6 a head for the romaine lettuce. So I go, wow, this is really good. Maybe this is a money maker. Maybe this is the one that'll help me pay my taxes on my land, so they won't take it away. But the deer were eating the romaine lettuce, and it's hard to pay people to help you because you don't make enough money. And so I started planting romaine lettuce this year again, and I got about 4,000 of them in the ground now.
Wow.
And like I said, last week, I think Thursday or something, I sold about 25 bags. I made like $50. I sold them in Chicago. It's not much, but it's a start.
Yeah.
And the romaine I don't sell, we take it to the food pantries.
Oh, wow.
So,
yes, you're giving back too.
My thoughts are that somewhere maybe we can figure this problem out. Like, how do you get the food, the romaine lettuce grown within 5 miles of the store that's selling it, to the store so the people can buy it? That's the challenge. If anyone can figure that out, yeah. But I've been planting romaine lettuce, and that's mostly what I've been doing. But the other thing, though, that I just read an article that said that in the United States we grow 90 million acres of corn and soybeans. Wow. It's hard to even imagine how big an area that is. But it's too much corn. There's no place, they have a hard time finding a place to sell it all. So part of it, they're making it into gasoline, and the federal government's subsidizing them and paying them to put this corn in our gasoline, which really makes our cars run terrible. But there's a word, COP, cost of operation, cost of production, and the farmers spend more money to produce the corn than they're making, so the federal government subsidizes the farmers. So consequently, the farm bill is something like $600 billion, so we're spending like all this money. Not all the $600 billion goes to for that reason, but we're spending all this money. But basically our tax dollars are really being wasted, and we're all this great farmland we have in America is going to corn and soybeans, and like on my side where I don't do any spraying, at night there's fireflies all over the place. And then you look across the street where they spray, there's no fireflies. But basically what this 90 million acres, what we've done is we've killed the soil. The soil is dead. There's no worms in it, there's no life in the soil, and it was just been really abused to try and make more money. And we could, if we would wake up and to combat climate change, we need to change the way we farm and start to put cover crops down and grow more stuff and stop killing the soil, stop the pesticides, and start working the land correctly so that we could actually be putting more carbon and things into the soil to make the soil richer. And we need to introduce people to go into have more small farms instead of taking the farms away. Have more small farms so people can start to work the land and own the land, and
like we used
have
to.
Have an acre of land to put an apple orchard on that will be there for 50 years, and someone could feed the community. And
there's enough food to go around. I mean, there's people in our town even that are starving because they don't have enough food.
The tragedy that we're wasted our land. Our land is in bad that we've. And they'll always say, like, America, we got some of the richest farmland in the world, you know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's owned by the government.
We did at one time, but 70 years, when you look at the history of farming for the last 70 years, that with the policy that the federal government's been making and the rich corporations, they basically, little by little, the small farm has gone.
What about the Dust Bowl, right? The Dust Bowl put us in a really bad position.
I mean, look at that movie Interstellar. Remember, that was like the end of the world and everything was the Dust Bowl.
Well, every civilization that's ever collapsed for any reason other than war has collapsed because of the decimation of their soil.
The soil, which is like
when you kill your soil, when you put pesticides in there, when you put stuff in there that is just for higher yield and for lower labor costs, you disregard the actual necessities of life. Even here, I've had to till because I don't know what I'm doing, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and all we do is we do exactly what we've been taught to do, and that isn't what's really.
You guys got romaine lettuce?
That's yours.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's yours.
Oh, no, great. Yeah, good.
You gave us
right.
that.
No, I planted.
And so, do you have the hay? Like, is there any specific reason why? So the top crops, then the hay, is that like how?
So there's weeds growing through the hay, but the hay is one for a path, so you don't walk on the garden beds, and two, it helps push water into the garden,
so that keeps some moisture in the soil.
Keeps some moisture in the soil, and the rain that rains on top of the hay doesn't get absorbed; it gets pushed to the sides. It runs off, and then it goes deeper down.
There was supposed to be.
They didn't show?
No.
You're the only one.
You know how it goes.
Wait for the camera.
I brought sweet
yeah.
I got styrofoam. I have a bunch
I
of
usually,
romaine
there
lettuce.
was rain that came through.
I
I usually bring snow.
You're the only one.
You know how it goes.
Wait for the That is the best. That's the best. And I'm loving the day glow colors here. The orange and like we could see him from a mile away.
He's
He's like a rave farmer. Yeah, I love it. We should do like a rave for like that. A gardening rave. And I'm loving the day glow colors. That's the next event. Yeah, like we could see him from a mile away. He's like a rave farmer. Yeah, I love it. We should do like a rave for like that. A gardening rave.
Summer costume.
That's the next event. Is
that awareness rise up to the throat, the collarbone. Pull your shoulders back and down. And notice the sensations you're feeling in your throat as you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Maybe creating a little resistance in the throat. So as you breathe, you hear that little Darth Vader sound, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror.
My name is Gary Friedland.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. I had a organization called Sustainable Agriculture Food Exchange, or SAFE. We have 4 missions. One is to provide food for people that don't have access to good food for whatever social or economic reason, doesn't matter. We try to teach people what good food is, not the grocery store stuff, let me tell you. Then third, we try to save farmland, and then we also work to save farmers. Our organization works with Jim Armstrong, who was just over here, and we provide free labor for him, and then he gives us the extra crops, and we take that directly to food pantries. Yeah, past years we've worked mostly with food pantries and just taken to them. This year we've started to do some pop-ups with existing organizations that do pop-ups. There's one
I think, is it Indiana?
Northern Illinois, Indiana
Yeah.
pop-up. It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so we do some of those. Past years, it's so labor intensive. Jim can't produce all. He can produce enough that he can sell it.
Yeah. He said he goes to farmers markets, or he goes, but it's not a lot of money. But I mean, romaine lettuce is right up there with rice. I mean, everyone eats it, and it's easy to grow, and you can grow it almost anywhere, right?
Yep. We're growing, Jim isn't growing it, but.
Explain what you're doing right now.
So one of the neighbors over here has some spare sod that we're going to utilize for our garden area. We got some bare spots over there, little flood spots as well. So we're just going to cover that up, patch it up, so make it look nice.
Nice.
All right.
Getting dirty.
Down for the call.
They're the stars of the show. The afro is killing me. I love it so much.
Where to begin? Something this country supposedly founded on. Free from religious persecution, free from tyranny. A lot of times when we look at freedom, we think about free from what? But I think a lot of times we forget free for what? Or what are we free? What is this freedom that we seek? And what does it really mean to be free? You see, in these difficult times, the life of the pandemic, freedom has been, I live in a free country, so I shouldn't have to wear this mask. So freedom is, live in a free country, so I should be able to shoot off fireworks whenever I want. I live in a free country, so I can do whatever I want. But is that really freedom? living in a country where anyone could just kill people, you know, that's not exactly, then that impinges upon your freedom.